Gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Hice, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know we've been around the horn probably with all the questions. And this may have been asked. If it has, please forgive me. But I'm impressed with the technology that has, the innovations that have come forth in the last several decades, both to increase our production at the same time keeping an environmentally friendly footprint. Mr. Jefferson, just want to ask you how that drilling technology has changed since oil and gas operations first started in the 60s, 70s, back in there. What kind of innovative technology changes have occurred?
The change in technology has been rather dramatic. When we first started developing Prudhoe Bay, we were drilling it off of 65-acre pads, and we could maybe develop 3 to 4 square miles off of an individual pad. Out in NPRA at Alpine right now, we have about a 12-acre pad, and we can develop about 55 square miles. We have recently contracted for what we call an extended reach drilling rig, and with that drilling rig, we'll be able to develop as much as 125 square miles from this same drill site. And what's really kind of mind-boggling about all that is that we can drill this well, drill it 30,000 feet out away from the existing drill site. We can put it in the zone about 7,000 feet down, and then we can drill it horizontally out for the next 23,000 feet and keep it in a box that's about 10 feet square, and keep it in that box that entire range, that entire distance. That was not possible 30, 40 years ago. And that's one of the differences really right now in terms of what we can do to extract more oil out of some of these reservoirs. It gives us the ability to go into reservoirs that probably wouldn't have been economic with the technology that we had 40 years ago. Today, we can drill with one well what might have taken 5 or 6 wells with 40-year-old technology. That makes these locations, these reservoirs that we're developing right now, much more economic. We've also done a lot of other things in terms of logging technology, being able to log, basically take measurements while we drill. We've also developed what we call coiled tubing technology, coiled tubing drilling technology. So rather than using a big, stiff piece of pipe that's this big around, we use a piece of tubing that's on a coil, like your garden hose, about 3 inches, about this big around. We can go into older reservoirs, we can kick off, and we can drill out into zones that we find bypassed oil in. It makes a huge difference in terms of what we're doing right now to increase recovery in existing fields like Kuparuk and Prudhoe Bay.
Now, some of this is happening in the North Slope area too?
Everything I just described is happening in the North Slope.
Okay. Well, the last question then with that is from the environmental footprint. I'm assuming that this decreases the environmental footprint while increasing production.
Absolutely, it decreases it pretty significantly. If you're drilling 65-acre pads versus 12-acre pads, and you're developing a bigger area from a smaller pad, that significantly reduces the amount of gravel that we have to put on the surface. So it has a very substantial impact. We do some other things as well. And we try to locate valves so we don't have to put access roads off of our existing gravel roads. At Alpine, the airport also serves as a road. It's not a separate airstrip separate from our facilities up there. So there are lots of things we do along those lines to minimize our footprint.
Okay, well, thank you very much. That's very insightful. And Mr. Chairman, I'll yield.
I thank the gentleman. Now I'll come to my